The phrase eye on elegance in a way has two meanings in the way we're using it. One is the eye for elegance that the quilt makers had, that they had a discerning eye, they had a creative eye, they had an eye for design and how they wanted to create their quilts. The second meaning of eye on elegance is we are turning our eye to the elegance of these creations. It's our curators and our visitors' eye on the elegance of these artistic pieces that we're displaying.
These aren't your typical quilts that you might find in your family's cedar chest. These are really outstanding examples of design and sophisticated thought about how all the pieces go together.
We titled the exhibit Eye on Elegance because we really wanted to combat the persistent myth that most quilts arise out of frugality and necessity, and that's not the origin of American quilting or indeed European quilting.
What you're seeing here in the exhibition are the masterpieces of these women.
When you look at these quilts, you see beautifully coordinated colors and beautifully thought out designs, and these women went and bought the fabric for the designs that they envisioned. Some of our quilts have 30, 40, 50, or over 60 fabrics in them. So a few of them may be incorporating a few extra little pieces left over from dresses that they would have been making. Yet overwhelmingly what you see is elegant, sophisticated, well thought out, planned designs with fabrics that were bought for the purpose.
Then you think about how many hours and how much work went into not just the stitching, but the thought that went into this color looks better next to this color and not that color. Or I'm going to take this chintz fabric that has this flower on it, and I'm just going to cut only the flower out. Or in the case of the Baltimore album quilts, women look at a piece of fabric and think, oh wait, that has some great shading to it. I can make it look like steps going up to this building. I think that speaks to the maker's just innate inner eye. Not everybody would be able to do that. The exhibition Eye on Elegance also focuses on makers. So we know who made the quilt. So we can investigate that person's life. Where did they live? What did they do? What kind of home life they might have had? What was that area of the country like at that particular time? Where did they get the fabrics, the outstanding fabrics that you see in these quilts?
And so then we can look at that person's genealogical records, find the family in the census, see who else is in the household.
Some of these quilts were not made by just one person, but a community. And that community most likely involved both friends, family, servants, both free and enslaved servants at the time, to help create the quilt.
And we can really flesh out the story of that quilt, and it enables us to look at quilts of a region. So when we look at Maryland and Virginia quilts, we know these are Maryland and Virginia quilts not only because they exhibit those regional design particulars, but because we know who made them and we can locate them in those areas.
Art school per se didn't exist for women at the time, but they had this foundation where if you had the inclination and the talent, you could then move forward. The quilts represented here on Eye on Elegance show that.
They wanted to show their refinement. They wanted to show that they were sophisticated and that they had elegant things in their home and that they had good manners and good taste. To make a beautiful quilt like this was an expression of that creativity and taste and meant to display that in their home.